sweetie. All right, try your best. I will too. More people. What's today, the 11th? What anniversary?
John. Oops, sorry.
Hi, welcome.
Hi, thank you.
Is it? Bina, where are you now?
I'm in Philadelphia right now, and I used to attend your meetings in person many moons ago, but I was away for 10 years, and so now I'm back in Philly.
We found that during this era, people who were part of the ATOA in 1970 or 1980 have now found access to some people on the West Coast, or, you know, one woman who had oxygen, you know, tubes was able to attend the talk.
No, this, interestingly enough, this makes it really easy for me, so I'm happy.
Very nice. And welcome, Elaine. I think Elaine's working on her technical.
Yeah, it takes a bit of getting used to. So, are you going to take questions at all, or?
Oh, this is going to be more of an open dialogue. This
Okay.
The Monday Open Studios, we sort of ask artists to come on in, or collectors or advisors, people in the arts, and just to share. We go around and everybody sort of takes a turn. Some go on their computer and share their screen and talk about their work. Others literally hold something up. Others just discuss. And yes, then there are questions. People ask questions. And so it's very much the flavor of the ATOA, the panel talks. On the other hand, we also do, and we've done 3 talks. We did April 25th, 26th, and May 2nd. And those talks had a panel and had panelists and a topic that they discussed, various things. So those are our more formal talks. This was a way to sort of get artists to reach out and connect during these times.
Yep.
That's Mitch Pollock, Clinic. Mitch Milnick, he's one of our board members of the ATOA.
Okay.
Where in Philly are you?
I'm in Center City near 30th Street Station.
This is a reminder. Meeting.
Alexa, stop.
Oh, you can invite Alexa in.
I asked her to remind me just in case.
You know what? Maybe when you talk at some point, we can actually ask Alexa art questions.
I've never done that, but that's a good idea.
That's a good one. That could be fun. Hi, Jackie.
Hello.
Hi, welcome.
Hi. I sent it out to a lot of people yesterday, but who knows? I sent it to, let's see, about 50 artists.
Excellent. That's all we can do. We have more people coming on. You know, it is early. And we get new people every time. And
Yeah.
look at it, I've done talks where we had small groups and large groups, and they all have a very good role and a different, and there are more people coming on here. So let me click them in. It has its own momentum, I think. A small one, but I'm enjoying it. Welcome, welcome everyone just signing on. I think what we'll do is we'll just talk a little casually, and then we'll sort of go around from person to person. Introducing myself, I'm Barry Kostrinsky. This is an artist talk on art presentation. ATOA is a 501(c)(3) nonprofit. It's been around since 1975, and does a lot of great talks. It's done thousands of talks with thousands of artists, with the efforts of hundreds of board members over many, many years. And we're just a small part of it now and very happy. And this is something that we're doing in response to what's going on and that physical distancing, which makes talks very hard. But as I was speaking with someone earlier, she hasn't been to an ATO event since maybe 10 or 20 years, but now she can come this way. And I see people coming in. So I'll continue with a brief introduction, and then we will go around and have everybody introduce themselves. Feel free to talk about your art. Use your sort of screen accordingly if you want to share it. If you feel like any questions, remember there are chat features on the side, and anything you like. Again, I'm Barry Kostrinsky. Welcome. This is Artist Open Studios, and it's always been fun. This is our 5th time doing it. It's fun to hear everybody share. Feel free to share about current work, old work, practices, anything you like. And of course, we have then dialogue. After someone talks, people can interject, ask questions. It's a very free moving format. And I'm going to say, Bina, if you don't mind, would you start? You feel comfortable?
Yes, that's fine.
I know you do. I'm going to admit Stephen Hirsch. And again, welcome everybody to Artist Talk on Art.
Okay, here I go. I'm Bina Shah, and I used to attend ATOA meetings, I would say really 10, 12 years ago in person. And then due to travels, I was unable to go. And I used to get the reminders, but I never managed to keep up. So this is a huge help for me personally. I used to live in northern New Jersey and then moved abroad, continued with my art practice, and now I am in Philadelphia. My medium is primarily clay, and I make sculptures in clay. I don't know. That's it, I think. Nothing else. Perhaps the next person can take over.
Do you have, Bina, do you have any images of you?
I do, but I think next time round I'll be better prepared. This is my first time, so I need to learn how to manage the sharing of images and the computer and everything. I'm not that handy with it at the moment.
That's fine. I do work in ceramics, and I've actually taken pieces around me and held them up. Let me ask you a question. Are you cone firing to 06, or you're cone firing to 6 or 9?
I do primarily high fire, so cone 6 mainly, so that I could leave my small scale sculptures outdoors. That way, you know, in any weather they'll survive. My work is primarily semi-figurative at the moment, but it's constantly changing, evolving. And I use a fair amount of color in my sculptures as well.
Are you primarily hand building then, or do you?
Yes, primarily hand building, and I worked with models that sort of I'm quite inspired by female forms, so I use that. And yeah, I would say it's all hand building, all hand building.
Very nice. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thanks.
Would anybody like to ask any questions?
It would be helpful to be able to see it, of course, but I get it.
It's my first time. Next
I
time round.
understand. Mine too. Mine too. I don't
Yeah.
have any. I don't have any work. I could walk downstairs into my studio, but I don't know if I'll do that either. Oh, should I do that? I saw a thumb up.
I would have, except I'm sort of using a desktop which is heavy, so I can't bring any work.
Right,
But I look forward to seeing other people's work.
Very nice. Fran Beeler, would you like to share? Fran, welcome.
Sure.
Where are you from?
Thank you. Okay.
I can't hear Fran.
Okay.
It's like
Breaking.
static,
Frozen. I think she's frozen.
frozen, that's the word.
Is that working better now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
great. Okay. Just a few little computer adjustments. So thank you for this, for the invitation. I've gone to Artist Talk on Arts events over the years, but often they just have conflicted with other things going on, and I haven't been able to go. So very excited to be able to come virtually and take part also. This is also my first time at the virtual open studios. So I'm not sure about the format. Do you do screen sharing? Is that something that's
So
a possibility?
yes. So if you know how to use the function on the bottom, you can screen share, and the goal is
Right.
for everybody to be quiet and listen, not to activate. And we'll see your screen on, and then of course we'll have questions. Just realize at the end, take off your screen share, and of course beware of what is on your screen. We will see everything there.
Oh yes. Yeah. Okay. So I am just getting up. I have it right now. Let me see. Go to the top. Okay. So just to say a little bit about myself, I live in New York City. I'm a New York City artist. I see some people I know on this chat from a group called the New York Artist Circle. So I see some familiar places, which is always nice. I'm a painter. I also do drawing. I also do printmaking. And I've been working for many years in those areas, but over the last number of years, I've taken on this interesting project. So it really started in 1980, where I did a self-portrait a day in a journal as a kind of visual diary. And I found that visual diary again in the year 2000. And I thought I found it in 1999. And I thought, wouldn't it be interesting to do it again in 2000, 20 years later, self-portrait a day. I did that. And then in 2010, I thought, well, I could do it again. And here it's 2020 and I'm doing it for the fourth time. So I've got lots of self-portraits and they're mostly drawings. In fact, this year is all drawings and all in black and white. So that's what I'm going to be showing you is this year's drawings in my self-portrait a day series. And, you know, little did I know what an unusual year this was going to be for doing a project like this. So I'm going to do screen share right now. And here we go. Okay. So, can everybody see?
Yeah.
Great. Okay. So, this is the beginning of the year, and I could like expand each one bigger, but there are a lot at this point. It's over 100. So I'm going to go through them like this so you'll see them in a grid, and I'll talk about my thoughts as I went through the year. So at the very beginning of the year in January, I just started out by thinking about how this year was different from other years that I've done these self-portraits. And some of the things in my life that were different were the fact that I was wearing glasses most of the time. So my glasses come in there. Also the fact that I have an iPhone, which is certainly not something I had 10 years ago, much less was so attached to, and have become more attached to in this, virtual time we're living in. The other thing that starts to show up are a lot of these floating marbles. I do flying, floating, falling imagery, and so that comes into the drawings as well. And so in the early ones, I did lots of variations and glasses and flying and phones, and this drowning image. This is something I did a whole little series on watery images, but this idea of drowning in tech, something I think many of us grapple with. And as I moved forward, different things. This particular drawing was a dream that I had, that my mother came to my door one night. Here I'm getting ready to go on a trip to New Orleans. I don't know if you can see well, but I'm in a suitcase. Anyway, and the next bunch of drawings are all done in New Orleans. Some of them are not finished. Some of them I may leave unfinished. Some of them I may go back and finish. Never quite sure about that. But this is like the last few weeks before the whole pandemic started. And so I was still going around and seeing different exhibitions. And this is a picture of me reflected in someone else's artwork. Earlier on, I did a drawing here where my eye is in the cell phone. Later, I found that drawing and I thought, okay, I did my eye in the cell phone. Now I'm going to do the cell phone in my eye. So that's one. This here, I'm on the subway. Not a place I've been for a while. Not about any of you. Dancing is something I do as a after hours fun thing. So that came in there too. I did a series of bike riding pictures. Here's me in the window, reflected in the window of the Whitney Museum. But right around this time, see, getting into these expressions, this is about the time where it's being decided whether we're going to have to stay home in seclusion. And so all kinds of feelings started coming up at that point and reflected in the drawings. And then when we actually did have to start staying home, then this series emerged of me and feeling very, very boxed in, something I think everyone can relate to. A dream of getting out of the box. These were done through a frosted window. And then came a period where my husband and I started walking around the Central Park Reservoir late at night. And I started doing drawings from photos I took in the park around the reservoir. My first visit to the grocery store after the initial craziness and empty shelves. The piles of boxes that arrived at the door. Whenever I do these self-portraits, series emerge within the series. So here I have a whole series of shadow drawings that I've started, and I'm still working on these. I really like where these are going, where you really just see not me, but the shadow of me on the landscape, which kind of feels very broad in the sense of we are now feeling it's like the shadow of our human presence on the planet. It seems very relevant.
Fran,
also did
you
it.
said, Fran, you said
Yes.
you've done this over many years, and
Yes.
obviously there are always sort of reflections of the times, whether it's iPhones, technology, and of course
Yes.
seclusion. How would you say the work varied from the 30 years ago to now?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So in the first year when I did did it as a journal within a confined book, it was a much more. Well, I was in my 20s, I think. So I was probably more self-absorbed, thinking about myself and my evolving place in the world and my love life and my relationships. I think the next time I did it 20 years later, I had children. I was settled in a different way, and the drawings kind of exploded out of the notebook and ranged to all different sizes. And they were in color and many different mediums. And I think I was just experimenting with a lot of different things I wanted to do at the time. Then the last time I did it, I decided to give it a more standard feel, and each drawing was a square of a certain size, and each day had a different theme in 2010, each day of the week. And so when they were shown, it was almost like 52 series. That had a very different feel. And this time I didn't want to be constrained in that way. And I feel like I'm more looking at my place in the world in a more, what I think is a more universal way, maybe how not only I feel about things, but how other people feel about things comes into it more. So even in this next grouping, which I call the mask series. So when we started having to wear masks, I was just playing around with all different kinds of things that obscure the face, not just a mask. And
Fran, when did you start drawing? At what age?
oh, well, my mother being an artist, I started drawing when I was about 3, 4, but seriously studying when I was about, I don't know, 10, 11, because I won an award to go to Pratt Institute in my late, at that age. And so I was going to Pratt at, weekend classes. I always took art outside of school, and then started studying what I considered seriously when I was 14.
Very nice. I'm going to open it up to questions so we can move along.
Okay.
We have a large group. Would
Good
anybody
idea.
like to chime in and ask Fran something? Fran,
Sure.
can you stop this screen sharing, Fran? So
Yes, I will. Okay, here we go. Okay.
All right. I would like to.
Yeah. Hi, Mitch.
Hi, Fran. Fran, great presentation, by the way. Really enjoyed seeing that.
Thank you.
And also, just wanted to mention that as far as on Instagram, you have a great page on Instagram that everybody that's on Instagram should follow. I always enjoy seeing you
Thank
post.
you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that. I'll put my name and my Instagram handle in the chat.
good idea.
Great.
Any other questions? Yes, Jackie.
Yes, hi, Fran.
Hi, Jackie.
That was wonderful. What
Thank
what
you.
size are they? I was just curious.
Oh, good question. I should have mentioned that. So every page is 9 by 12, but I have defined a little box in the middle that is 5 by 7. And the reason I did that was a sort of a silly practical reason. At the beginning of the year, I wanted to make them a consistent size, but I couldn't decide what size. 5 by 7 kept coming to me, but I wasn't sure. So by doing them on the larger sheet, I figured I can always expand them if I want to. But then I kind of liked the way they looked gridded out, and I liked a little bit of the process showing in the drawing. So I loved
Well,
it.
I mean, you really, well, of course, you were giving us a commentary, but even without the commentary, you could get like the different phases that you're going through interiorly as much as, what you're seeing. It was very, very, I particularly love the part, when you're in the cartons and the boxes. I love that one.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's terrific.
I
Congratulations.
appreciate that. Thanks. Thank you.
Nice, very nice. Thank you. Next, Gina, Dominique, I see some very nice work behind you. Welcome to
Thank
ATOA.
you. This is the first time I've joined this open studio. So thanks for hosting it, and thanks for the invite. I got it through the Elizabeth Foundation. Is everyone here an Elizabeth Foundation for the Arts artist?
No?
Oh,
No,
maybe
yeah,
yeah. Maybe Bill, you sent it to Bill. I think I got the invite through either Bill or EFA. I've been there for about 3 or so years, and I'm not there right now because it's closed for the last 2 months. So
Oh,
I'm upstate. I'm fortunate to have an upstate Catskills Mountain home with my husband, and we have side studios in our basement. I'm a Lehman art professor, and I am on sabbatical this year, so I have made maybe 2 or 3 or 4 times as much art as I usually get done. I am predominantly a painter, and I teach most painting, some drawing. I did a visiting artist residency in November at the 18th Street Art Center in Santa Monica, and that's when I started these larger paintings. Can you see that one?
Yes.
Okay, so that was, and so those are two of 4 pieces. Maybe these 2 or 3 are further along than this one. But I started those 4 paintings in November when I was a visiting artist in residence.
Gina, here's my recommendation. It's excellent the way you held the camera at them, but then hold it there for like 45 seconds so we can see it. They look great. Yeah.
Is that long enough? Well, I turned off a set of lights because I thought it was too much. Now I think it's a little dark. Can you see that though?
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
This one's better lit right now. And I should say that my father passed away like first week of the semester, kind of unexpectedly. And especially that painting, but probably all 4 of them. Was that long enough?
Not really.
Sorry. Okay. Let me try a screen share. Then I won't be holding the. Just to can you? I don't know what that looks like to you, but this is my website.
Great.
So the screen share is more still. I won't have to hold. It's holding itself.
Nice.
So just as he was passing away, I was finishing this installation. So these are 2 large-scale murals that I worked on last summer. And then the install took about, I want to say 3 weeks. And just as I was finishing it, photographers, Lehman College photographers came and took this and many other shots. This is just one that I liked. And so it was the feature faculty work and the faculty show in the fall. We are so lucky to have a Lehman College art gallery in the Marcel Brauer designed building where the art department is. And so the central space is a rotunda, and I was in that rotunda for this installation, and the murals are about 16 feet long each and just over 7 feet high, I think. And then I had a former painting student assisted me in painting the rotunda wall that deep maroon color, And then for a couple of weeks, the most intensive part of the installation was that, because it was at least 3 coats of paint and then the central column. And I took smaller scale paintings. Maybe I'll go to the next. I had smaller scale paintings that I was working on last spring and summer, and I took this one. Are you still seeing these okay?
Yes.
So I took, these are just a foot square, and I took one of these squares to Sherwin-Williams around the corner. I live on King Street, and there's a Sherwin-Williams on like 7th Avenue and Spring. In any case, they scanned each one of the colors and custom designed the paints that I then used on that column. So the exhibition was called Color, and again, that piece was the big piece in the show. And typically I do, like the other faculty, bring a couple of larger scale paintings, or sculptors bring a few sculptures in, and then just one person is featured in that rotunda. This year it was me, and unfortunately my father was, on his deathbed those weeks, and so I was running back and forth from Pennsylvania. Just my whole universe changed. And the one larger or the one mural on the left, maybe both of them, I was really wanting to get a sense of these 2 or 3 smaller paintings I had done in the months before on this larger scale. Because when I was making those smaller works, and it was true when I was creating the larger scale murals as well, I kept having this feeling of that was very similar to when I gave birth to my daughter. She's 31 now, but it was one of the most powerful experiences of my life in terms of like transcendence and connection with the universe, and how it really works, not scientifically, not rationally, not intellectually, but what is physically happening. So anyway, then I was installing it, and like I said, it turns out then those were the last couple of weeks of my father's life, and I was so aware of how it was the exact inverse of giving birth, some 30 years prior. And so anyway, it ends up being, the piece is called Pink Universe, and this group of smaller paintings, these 9 that I'm showing you here, or however many are here, 2, 4. Yeah, ended up being in a small exhibition at a place called the Shala Union Square. It's a combination small art gallery with then 2 yoga studios, or 2 rooms in their yoga studios attached. And I called the exhibition Meditations on Pink, and it was so well received there. But again, I was just in the throes of grief and the whole process. So there's my story.
Very nice. Very nice,
Wow.
Gina, and the way you expressed death as an inversion of life, and learning through your experiences with your daughter and your father, more of intuitive learning is interesting. Your choice of pink, I'm curious, blood?
No, I first started, well, I should say that some of my earliest memories in my life are finger painting. My mom put finger paints on the floor and paper when I was probably 2.5 years old. And I was probably enamored of the color, but certainly of the medium. And I just didn't quit making art, or I haven't quit painting since. And I probably became aware of how enamored of the color pink I was as an undergraduate. My first painting classes were with a guy named Roger Tibbets, a painter that is British born, and now I'm going to try to turn off screen sharing, should I? I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. Where's stop? No.
At the top of your screen.
That little button, that red button on top.
Thank you. Did it stop? Oh, there it is. Stop share. Mine was at the bottom for whatever reason. So I studied painting with Roger Tibbets at Carnegie Mellon. He was just a visiting artist. He was so young in his career. He is at one of the big art schools in Boston now. But anyway, I started painting with him, and 18 years old, and he thought I had a really garish color sense. I don't think he liked it that much. He is super subdued. He uses blacks and indigo and blue. He uses like 3 colors. Anyway, I'm typically like this work, really vibrant and bright, and always have been. But I got real hooked on the color pink as a kind, and I was associating it with like my plastic baby dolls and Barbies, and I loved playing with Barbies growing up. And as a graduate student, I did printmaking. Undergraduate, I did drawing and painting, and grad student, I did printmaking, and I did quite a lot of work with Barbies. My daughter was so young then, and she was way into them anyway. So I think of it as doll pink. I also am flipped my whole life over Philip Guston's work, and he's big into pink and grays. And so there are a couple of different, ways that I am smitten with pink. Those are some of them. Also feminine. I'm, been feminist since the birth of my daughter, and then academically I became a feminist, and as a graduate student in the 90s, I studied with Libby Lumpkin at the University of New Mexico, and she's a great art writer. And anyway, so pink that way too.
Very nice. Let me, that was a very nice presentation, Gina. Thank you. Any questions, anybody?
Yes. Gina, Mitch here.
Hi, Mitch.
Hi. Gina, yeah, I'm very familiar with EFA. Bill's a friend, among many in the community. How long have you been at EFA?
3 years, maybe 3.5, something like that. I originally sublet Eric Brown's studio. He's since moved out of there. He did a brief sublet recently. Do you know Eric Brown's work, or do you know him?
Eric Brown from Brooklyn? He does photographs?
No, he's a painter. And he was at EFA for at least a few years. And then he did a master's. He left because he did a master's in, my husband teaches in the program at Columbia, and Eric did that program in something to do with spirituality.
So what floor are you on?
I've been on 8 for a couple of years.
8.
But Eric's studio was on 10, and Steed is now in that studio. What floor are you on?
I'm not an artist.
Oh, okay.
I'm an art appreciator, and I love EFA, and Bill is one of the nicest human beings that anybody ever meet. And I would always refer to EFA as like art and aerobics. You take the elevator to the top floor and you walk yourself down. Otherwise, you're going to kill yourself. But EFA is amazing. And the stories that I've heard from artists that have been there of the whole community there is just so.
I think more than 90 of us. And we're all different kinds of memberships, 4 or 5 different kinds of memberships. I've always been a short-term member. And then there are artist members, and they have 2-year memberships. And then there are, subletters like I originally started. And then there's another couple of ways to be.
Well, I look forward to when it's, we finally have another open studios.
Oh, I know.
person. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an intense.
Thank you. Thank
Questions?
you. I'm thinking, wait, I forgot what I was thinking. Stephen Hirsch. Stephen, are you game? If ready to go?
Yeah, I was drawing actually while you were doing your thing.
Start by showing us and what you're drawing. And by the way, Stephen, where are you located again now?
In the East Village.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm home quarantined. Do you hear me well?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
I'm home quarantined. I've been in and out of the house for a couple of months now, and I started drawing when the quarantine started. So before that, I was painting, but I just started drawing, and so I'm drawing something now. The work is quarantined centric. People wearing masks, and it's all kind of chaotic and hectic. Probably because of what's in my mind of what could be and maybe what is. So should I show you? This is what I'm doing now. I just started doing this actually while we started. So I'm going to just hold it
Yeah,
up.
right there.
Yeah.
Or even a little closer.
Okay. Well, I don't want to crop it, so I don't know.
No, it's
Got room.
plenty of space around it. That's good.
Oh, I can't tell.
Yeah, that's right. Stop.
Oh, okay. There we go. So I just started doing this. I just started drawing this. I did a piece like last week on a female nude posing in a studio, and then I just thought I would do more of that. People kind of liked it, and I thought I would do more. So
Are you a big fan of Cezanne's bathers?
no, not really, but
Oh,
I can see where I'm a fan of everything that's in my head is what I am. So I'm not quite sure. I'm trying to fix my phone. Pardon me. So I'm not quite sure what's in my head, but it all just kind of comes out when I draw and paint. So I'll just show some of my quarantine stuff.
Even closer, Stephen. Even closer.
Oh, okay. I
Closer,
can't
and
tell.
that's it. Little lower.
Okay.
Right there.
Perfect. That'll work.
oh, perfect.
Okay. Yeah, I can't tell because it looks like it's filling the screen when I kind of do that, but.
Little closer is better.
Okay, you just tell me when.
That's
Stephen,
fine.
what is your medium? What are you using?
These are pencils, colored pencils.
Color pencils.
Yeah, and they're very small.
But it's
They're about-
water-based, so then you
Yeah, they're water-based, yeah.
you wet it to get it to dissolve.
Uh-huh, well, yeah, exactly. So these are very small. They're like 6 by 8 inches because I literally paint on a TV table in my apartment. So I don't have a lot of room, and I thought it would be kind of cool to do these quickly, and so they're quite small.
Looks like you have some feelings about being in quarantine.
I have a lot of feelings about a lot of things. So, if there are any psychiatrists
wow.
here. So,
Very powerful. They're mighty and small and mighty, as they say, huh?
yeah, they're quite small.
But they're powerful,
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm going to preface Stephen because Stephen, the first time he was on, had said that he had shown at the Outside Art Fair. So that's a good indication as far as his artwork, I believe.
Yeah, that was the first show that I had. That was in January. And then I showed last month at the Art on Paper show. So this is the first time I've ever showed my work in those two shows. You tell me if it's close enough. I'm not sure.
You can even a little bit more. Thank you.
Yeah, that's really
I
nice.
see his lungs, and the virus coming into his lungs. Got it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about the lungs. They just keep talking about the lungs. So I read the paper every day, and I pay attention to the news, obviously, and I just try to draw what's in my head. And when I hear about lungs and viruses, and they keep showing these virus pictures all the time, what they look like. So it seemed like a thing to draw.
Fabulous.
And I'll just show a couple more, three more. So I'm fascinated with astronauts and fascinated with what they were talking about coronavirus in space and whether it could be, could exist in space. So I think that was kind of interesting. So
Mm.
So it's a astronaut and coronavirus health. So killer hornets are very big in the last week.
Yeah, right.
Like killer hornets.
Were you a fan of cartoons growing up?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. I mean, I think every kid is, every boy, certainly. I don't want to sound sexist.
Important.
But you do. I was also a fan of cartoons.
There you go. So there you go. I'm gonna take that back and grow from that.
There you go.
Comics as well, yes or no?
Comics, yeah. I don't read comics anymore, but yeah, I grew up in comics.
Stephen, that your work is alive, it's active, your compositions are packed. They're really something. I only made reference to Cezanne, just the way you did on the corner, you had a vertical and then a horizontal across. I think you're doing intuitive compositional play. Outsider art, how would you describe yourself? Maybe it's not a fair question, as an artist if you're an outsider artist.
When I first started painting, I didn't characterize myself as anything, pretty much. But when I showed my work to a dealer, and she liked it, she started telling me more about who I was than I kind of knew who I was. I didn't really know about outsider art at all. I didn't understand what it was even. So, and I have no formal training as an artist. I started painting like 3 years ago, and as I said, I just started drawing 2 months ago. So I'm fairly new to it, but I have no training. I didn't go to school for it. I didn't start drawing or painting till I was 69. I'm 71 now, and what else? That's it. I supposedly that meets the criteria for an outsider artist. I hate to be pigeonholed, but that's what it sort of sounds like.
Any questions, anybody?
I'm very curious how different or similar the drawings are to your paintings.
If you look at my Instagram, you see the paintings. I don't have any handy right here. But if you go to Instagram, Stephen Hirsch, I'll spell my name STEVEN HIRSCH, and you can see all my work on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd like to say something. As far as outsider is not just as far as artists who have not had formal training, but it also is underlying as far as the type of artist, as far as their expression. I went this last year with my girlfriend, who's a psychiatrist, and she found it to be one of the most fascinating art fairs she had been to, and was upset at times looking at different art, but it's extremely expressive as far as if you ever get a chance to go to the outside art fair, the type of artwork that is shown there, totally different than other art fairs. So I definitely recommend Outsider. And Stephen, that's great that you were in there.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Glimpsing at your Instagram, you are very prolific. You did all this in the last 3 years. Wow.
And I had a full-time job, so most of that work is just done on weekends in the last couple of years. So
interesting.
Just a couple of days a week. Yeah. Look. I think now I'll probably draw and paint more because I don't have a job anymore. Lost my job.
Oh, sorry.
Which is kind of cool.
Oh,
I'm not upset about it.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Thank you. Always a pleasure hearing, and thanks for coming again, Stephen. Fascinating.
Thank you for inviting me, Barry.
Yeah, no, keep coming. It's great dialogue. New artists who come and share week to week. I'm enjoying it. I want to ask Larry Rushing. Larry,
hey.
Welcome. Let me ask anybody, while Larry presents, if you want to give thumbs up, if he's asking you a yes/no question, realize this is a voice-activated platform, and it could take it away from camera on him for some people. Larry, I see you're in your studio, or where you're from, and introduce yourself, and thanks for coming.
Barry,
Hey,
I'm,
thanks for
I'm
having
sorry.
me.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but one thing before we start, which is that you can also pin the video of anyone if you want their image to come up as the main image and not be overridden by anyone else talking. You can go to the little blue square in the corner of anyone's image and hit the 3 dots. It gives you an option to pin video. So if you do that on whoever's speaking, in this case, Larry, then we'll see Larry and we don't have to worry about him being interrupted.
Thanks, Fran.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
anyway,
I love
thanks
the beehive tech support. It happened last week where everybody kind of pitches in. So go ahead, Larry, as you're comfortable.
yeah, well, thanks for, yeah, I really forgot what the question. Yes, I'm in the studio. I'm in my studio painting, and I heard about it through Jack Woolen. And so we are part of the Federation of Modern Painters and Sculptors in the Peace, and I communicate with her, and she knows my wife and what have you. So she informed me that this was going to be happening this evening, and so I just chimed in, and I'm in the studio painting like everybody else, you know, quarantine. But I think my work basically, I guess I should be showing you some of my work as I talk. I put my paintbrushes down and get busy here. I'm going to move around just a little bit. I'll show you 1 or 2 of my paintings. I'm a painter. I studied at Tyler School of Art, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I got my master's over there. I've been painting since 2000. I graduated in 1975 from Tyler, and I stopped painting, got married and stopped painting and raised a family, and then I came back to work. So I'm just going to show you, I'm going to reverse this so that you can see a painting of mine. God, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but anyway, why don't I take you out into the living room where I think my gallery is. Oh, just hang on with me for a second. I actually hadn't thought I was going to be talking with you guys. I wanted to just chime in and see everybody and not say anything, but here we are. I'm going to turn up some lights and I'll show you a couple of paintings and let you see what I do. I paint in 3 different mediums. I'm a painter by trade. I paint in 3 different mediums. And can I reverse this so that you're not seeing me? And
Sure.
how am I doing this? Reverse.
You have to
Mute.
flip the image with the little arrows on your iPhone.
Yeah, I see the arrows. Hold on. We get
Kind of
there
in
in
a
a second.
circle. Okay.
I'm just trying to get rid of me.
Just tap on, they sort of form this little loop, the arrows on the iPhone. Can you tap on that?
Oh, no.
No. All right, here. Why don't we do it this way? Can you see it now? See the painting?
Yes.
Yes, that'll
Okay.
work. Totally work.
Okay, let's just do this. Make it real fast. Okay, this is a painting. This is an oil painting, and it's what I do. It's a still life painting. I paint still lives. This is another oil painting of mine. This one is a smaller one. This one is like 3 feet by 6 feet, and this one is a real small one. This is like 24 inches. No, 18 inches by 14 inches. That's oil. And then I'm gonna move over here. This is an acrylic. It's
Larry, these are very interesting. Give us a little more time on each image. They're
Okay.
really interesting works.
Okay. All right. So I will give you some time on the acrylic. This is called Sidewalk View, and it's acrylic. And it's you know, my work, I basically a fan of the Baroque period, just to make it simple, and Dali. Baroque and Dali is somewhere in there in that whole thing, and I try to deal with transparency as opposed to opacities, and I'm just painting. That's it. So now that's acrylic.
We'll go back to the oil. This is an oil. This is very small. Okay, and then we go to the most recent painting that I did, which is this one over here, is an oil. Okay, and then this is my drawing, which you can hardly see in this light.
No, it's okay.
But
Larry?
anyway, yeah,
Larry, the last painting that you showed next to that one,
yes.
was that like a city scene behind a still
Oh,
life?
it's called a roof. It's called Rooftop. Yeah, I
Oh,
work in hospitality and I do catering work. And down in the village, I was on the roof one night and I was bartending. And this was a couple of years ago. And I was impressed by what I saw. And recently, I just made a painting. And
it's just so interesting because there seem to be layers like glass, and I see a lipstick and plants, and then the city. And
Can you move closer, Larry?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So we can just see
So
some
it-
detail.
wow, that's wild.
Wow is right. Nice
Were
work.
these all things that were there, or just?
No. What I do, my work basically deals with improvisational rhythm, akin to jazz, transparency as opposed to opacities, dealing with femininity. And that's my philosophy. And everything I do evolves around that. And that's why you see lipstick, broken glass, cities, and I do still lifes. It's always a still life setting, but utilizing that whole philosophy and incorporating all those objects. They'll just repeat it over and over and over again. All right, here's one more, and then you can ask me any questions.
Oh,
Can you see it?
interesting. You can only see the upper corner. It's not really centered well. Oh, that's better.
There's transparency, I guess.
Okay, why don't we just take it out here, and then you can ask me any questions you want, and then I'll be through.
Okay.
I'm gonna put it up out here, and you'll probably be able to see it. Okay, is that better?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you can aim the camera slightly down, then we'll be able. Yeah, there we go. Oh, interesting. So there are the shoes and the glass and the plants.
You'll find stilettos, glass, you'll find something that deals with to represent femininity in all my work, and it also with the transparency as opposed to opacities and still life settings, and that's basically it. Like I said, it's an improvisational rhythm. I'm trying to use jazz, incorporate jazz into a perceptual experience in the rhythm, and through the utilization of linear quality in the painting. But it gets a lot. Anyway, it's just a little thing. And I also do. I'll show you one more, and then I'll be through. I paint with gouache as well. So I'm all over the place. And here's one gouache, and then we'll be through.
Did you say wash or gouache?
Gouache.
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 Right.
Gouche. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Excellent.
The palette is very similar. We would know it was your work. Certainly.
Thank you.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you set up a still life in front of you? Or
yes.
You do? Okay,
yes.
So the shoes and the glasses.
Yeah, it's always from life. I work from life. I have to have a reference, and then I get to a certain point, and then I abandon. I don't ever truly abandon it. I keep it there for the duration, but I don't use it all the time. It's just in and out. But I have to have a reference. I mean, all this, my studio, this is glass. I got glass all over the place. So anyway, any question?
I'm fascinated that you are fascinated with femininity.
Oh yeah, that's I went out to the Miami, Ohio University recently and did a lecture out there with the students, and I had to formulate what my whole work process was about, and deals with femininity, and it's in honor of my great grandmother who raised me, and I lived with her until, well, she was a midwife, and she was 80 years old when I was born, and she helped me until she died, which was 92, and then I went to live with my mother, and so femininity is very important to me.
Wow, she was a midwife. That's
Yeah.
so amazing.
Yeah, and she took me at 80 and raised me, and when
That's
my mom
amazing too.
yeah, woman got me, and so everything I do is like, I became an artist, and I says, why do I want to be an artist? And so it's all about honoring femininity, her.
Amazing.
Larry, hi, this is Mitch.
Hey, Mitch.
Where your work is great.
Thank you.
Where is your studio?
101st in Manhattan Avenue, Upper West Side.
Okay. All right.
I'm in an apartment. I got one bedroom. I have a two-bedroom apartment. One room is all paint. The living room is my gallery, and the bedroom is where I used to sleep until I got married recently, and I moved over with my wife now on West End Avenue, but I use this still as a studio.
Nice.
Well, congratulations on getting married.
Mary.
Yeah.
Larry, we are neighbors. I live at 101st and West End Avenue. And
oh wow, we are.
When we're all done quarantining, we'll have to exchange studio visits.
Oh, wonderful! I love that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Very nice. Thank you, Larry. And sorry for sort of putting you on the spot there. You did a great job. You talked about your work very succinctly. It's obvious you have a playbook. You know, the transparency as opposed to opacity, and feminism, relationship to family, which is a constant theme we've heard through a lot of people so far today. You spoke well, still life as a sort of realist. So thank you very much. It is challenging to have us there and not see the screen. So I appreciate that. You did a great job.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to do that. I appreciate it.
Very nice. I see Gunnar is here. Gunnar Mundheim. Let me welcome you back. And Gunnar, would you like to show us and talk about your studio?
I thought today I might be a listener. I just came out of another Zoom meeting, and I'm sort of zoomed out, so I thought I would join you all and see what everybody else is doing. I'm doing sort of larger landscape around me, sort of the feeling of it, and then focusing in on tiny fragments of things, sort of the fragments and the whole, and that's the overall project. And of course, I'm still here in Tucson, and I'm surrounded by birds and mountains and lizards. And this morning I saw, as I was looking at some bushes, 3 coyotes walked by.
Wow.
So sort of all, you know, it's a different environment from when I am in Manhattan. But as I'm just coming out of something else, I didn't have time to transfer anything, photograph it, transfer it.
You know what? You gave an excellent snippet, you know, the idea of the fragment and the whole, of zooming in, the sort of macro and the micro view. It reminds me of something someone presented last time where they zoomed in to what looked like cells and things, and the very small, and often the small ends up looking universal, very large. So it's a common practice, I think. So thank you for that, Gunnar. I appreciate it.
Okay, next time.
Is your work online?
Yes, I have a website.
Okay.
And it's Gunnar S. Mundheim. There's a middle initial S. So it's like the multiple of Gunnar. It's Gunnar S. Mundheim. And
Is that some of your work behind you? On the
yes.
wall? Are you on a phone?
Work on paper, but
no,
I also
are you on a phone?
Am I on the phone?
Yeah, or a computer, because if you're on a phone, you could walk over to it. That's why I was asking.
Well, I'm on the computer.
Oh, okay.
You know, there's some collage work in the background, and that's not what I'm doing right now. That had to do with family histories and time periods of then and now and that sort of thing. But that's not what I'm doing now. What
Do you
I'm
have any
doing,
pieces now? You can just hold up to the camera.
well, I can walk over to a wall, but I don't have it arranged in any particular way. Right behind me, you see something green that I'm working on right now.
Yeah, it looks beautiful.
Working on right now on, well, it's just, I'll do it next time. I'll download it and
Very good, good. And we'll do
have
it next time. I'm gonna,
the
I
presentation.
appreciate you coming in, and Stephen, I understand it. It's so enticing when you see the work behind and you hear a story. You really need to see a visual. Guna comes regular. I'm sure you'll see her again. Ilse, can you hear me? Ilse Schreiber, no? Would you like to talk to us?
And here, you know, I had it on mute. On mute. I mean, hi. Yeah, I'm here the first time. First time is your email. Hold on a second, because I'm moving into better space because I couldn't get something to see you. Yeah. Okay, I'm here. I tell you. Can you hear me?
Yes, you don't have your video on. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I just. Oh, okay. Now I can see. So I don't live in the city. I live in the country in Upper Westchester. And what should I tell you what I do?
You could show us works. Where in Upper Westchester are you?
I'm in Croton on Hudson.
Very beautiful.
My studio is in Peekskill, and I do my printmaking in my house here. I'm doing printmaking, like mainly woodblock printing, and I do in mixed media, mainly painting, printing, and installations, and woodblocks are my main media in the printmaking field. And I have a website which is Ilse Schreiber Noll, www.ilseschreibernoll.com is my website. I mean, here you can see maybe, I don't know, can you see the woodcut in the back? There's a woodcut.
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Very well.
It's a much older piece. I studied with a woodcut artist called Antonio Frasconi. And at that time when I made this piece, I worked very, very realistically. That has changed since, which is good, I think. But right now, oops, this is the only piece I have close to me. And then I did a lot of small drawings, which are behind me right now in the quarantine time, just referring to that, like very loose stuff, because I felt so confined that I felt I have to break out of this, you know, and just splash the paint on little pieces of scraps and paper. I can hold up one or two little pieces. You want me to?
Yes.
Yeah, I get it. Hold on a second.
This is what I call active art viewing.
It's great.
It's great.
While she's doing that, may I just say one thing, please?
And okay, I also am a book artist. I do a lot of books. Right now I'm making tiny little accordion books, teensy weensy ones. Oops, because I don't have my studio, I can't go up there.
Ilse, we have one question. Somebody wanted to ask something. Somebody
Yes.
wanted to ask something?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe.
Larry had the question.
Okay.
My question is, you said you have a printmaking, you do printmaking at your house in this upstate?
Yes, I have a studio in Peekskill where I paint, but in my house I have a printmaking in the basement with a medium-sized press, and I do my printmaking there. Yes.
Is this the old-fashioned way? I mean, you know, with the paper wheel and stuff, or is it?
No, it's a very simple one, which I bought many years ago for very little money, and I really love it.
Oh yeah.
But I think woodblock you can print by hand. It's so easy, you know.
Oh, yeah.
That's
yeah,
what
yeah.
they used to do. If you have no press, that's why I started to use that medium before I had a press.
Right.
And it has no technique. I mean, you need experience for it, and it gets better and better. But you don't have to learn all this, like in etching, all this acids, and oh my God, I just could never do that, and I had to learn it.
Yeah, that was my question. I wanted to know if you were doing printmaking, and did you use zinc or the acid and stuff like that?
No, I only do woodblock printing. I learned all the other stuff. I had to do it for my master's, but I decided never again I want to do those things.
Okay.
Yeah, also it goes more with my other work, you know.
Right, right.
And I do artist books, which I love, you know,
Right.
love to make. Yeah. Anyway.
Very nice. A funny thing I found out recently about Albert Dürer, one of the great printers of all time, if not the greatest. He felt that his paintings were almost a waste of time because the money was in the printmaking. The business attitude, I never heard that side of Albert Dürer.
It's true. So I start to think the same thing. My paintings, I love them, but I don't sell that stuff, you know. The prints one can sell, but then you can't always do what you sell. You sometimes do what you love to do, you know. But I sell it. What I really make money with is with my artist books. I have sold them a lot.
Ilse, can you show us that book again and a little more slowly?
It's a tiny mini book. I can show you.
That's
There's
okay.
one here. And I didn't really update my website perfectly, but this is, for example, can you see this?
Yeah.
Oh, this
It'd be
is
easy if you hold it back a little bit
like
so we could see.
Oh, wow.
Because it's big. Oh, wow.
There's a mixture of woodcuts in it and all stuff. And then there's a little poem here by William Blake, and it's about sunflowers. This book is called Sunflower Road, because I did a series of woodcuts, very large ones, of sunflowers, which I usually don't do sunflower, but I thought when there was this question about building the wall by Mr. Trump, and I was so upset about that, so I thought I did this series called Let Us Plant Sunflowers Instead of Building Walls. And it became this huge series of sunflower woodcuts and paintings and stuff. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. Now this is a tiny book I'm just making. It's a tiny accordion book. It's very small. It's very long. And it's tiny. And it has a tiny little poem handwritten in it by James Wright.
What does that look like? Can you show the little poem in there?
Yeah, it's hard to see because I hand wrote it in it. I can just show you. It's excerpts of it. See?
Yes.
It's just excerpts.
Oh, within the painting. Oh, you know, that works really well. If you could show us like a page at a time, because when you hold it up, it wobbles and you just can't see anything.
Oh, yeah, but this book is so big, so it's probably hard to see anyway.
Well, you don't have to
oh, there's a small one. There's a small one here. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Okay.
This is a small. Can you see this?
Yes, but hold it back. Yes.
This is the book I did. It's called. It belongs to a series of more than 20 books, which are called Diaries of Conflicts, which I started to do in 2006, actually, and they're a continuation of some political work I started right after the towers, after President Bush wanted to move into war with Iraq. So I started this whole series of small books. They're about 5 by 7 inches, between 6 and 8 inches. And this is a painted books, and the others they're called Diaries of Conflicts because they talk about the conflicts starting from that time, 2006 to now. And every year I made 1 or 2 of those books. And this is the last one. which is called Child Migrant, and that's number 3. So it's a book with tiny little woodcuts. It's painted books and woodcuts and, oops, the leaves are falling. Yeah, and you see all the little kids walking away, trying to find a space where they can live more in peace. So this is one of the little books. And then I do a lot of colored books and stuff. I have to collect them to show them to you. I didn't expect to show you anything today, but anyhow, it's like a little bit. So yeah, and I do all kinds of this stuff.
Thank you very much, Ilse. That was very nice, very interesting. You mentioned some things that have come up. Small works, artists, maybe because we can't get into a big studio or whatever.
Yeah,
I hear a lot of people doing small works. Maybe it's the size of the table you're working on, as Stephen said. And as well, another artist mentioned zooming into the work, getting close into details. So it is interesting. I think there is a paradigm shift going on in the art world with people with concerns now. And from these kind of groups, if you listen to enough, you sort of hear common things being said. And thank you for sharing. Any questions, anybody?
I don't have a question, but I would like to just tell you that if you really want to see some more of my work, just go to LarryRushingArt.com and then you can see my website.
I should look.
You went.
We all should look.
Larry, slow that down. Oh, yes.
LarryRushing.com, right?
Yeah, LarryRushingArt.com.
I write it down. Larry. Yeah.
Thank you.
And you can go to mine too, Larry.
Yes, please.
IlseSchreibernoll.com.
Okay.
IlseSchreibernoll.com.
There's
all
a
one
chat
word.
feature. There's a chat feature, usually on the bottom middle of the screen, and you can go to everyone. I put LarryRushingArt.com. We can all chat. You'll see some people have left the meeting or have left their links as well if you open the chat button. So if you can, try and do that. I'm going to move over to Jackie. Jackie Rada is a board member of the ATOA for many years. Her husband was president years back. And I want to thank you, Jackie. I know a lot of the people here today are here because of what you did, the outreach you did to the organization. And that's made us grow into a very nice group on our 5th sort of open studios. Jackie is an artist. As most of us lead multiple lives, many hats, has worked in business, and also we maybe do administrative work and help a nonprofit. But at the same time, Jackie's an artist that's constantly posting on Instagram and is one of us, so to speak.
Oh, yeah. But as you know, I'm away from my studio on the beach since March 15th. So I've just been doing like my little visual diary every day, just where I am. So, and I'm a minimalist, so nothing like what we've been looking at here. I'll just show you maybe the last sky. I do a lot of skyscapes. This is the last one I did a few days ago. So, and I walk on the beach every day. So that's really my inspiration. And then this is the kind of work I do large also. So a lot of the things I'm doing here may end up being larger work. I'm also doing some drawings because I got this sketchbook that I love. I didn't do with it. You know, when you have a new sketchbook, you like don't want to ruin it. But anyway, I was on the beach a lot, nobody there. And it's like this vast, you know, empty space with it's magnificent. But then there'll be like 1 or 2 people around because of the boardwalk is closed. Some more people are. This was a while ago. So I took a lot of pictures just because it felt like I don't know, just had a strange feeling. So I'm just doing these very simple drawings, which may end up being paintings at some point. I don't know if you could see.
Yeah.
You're getting too close. Pull it back a little bit.
Back just a little bit.
There we go.
They're just
Nice.
colored pencils. So I don't have that many. I'm not going to show them all anyway. But
Ooh,
so
Nice.
very
nice.
minimal.
What medium is that? Is that just pencil?
Yeah.
There's an interesting texture in the sand.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I really kind of give the credit to this sketchbook. This is German paper. Somebody gave it to me. Not this. I was in a residency a few years ago in Italy, and one of the people there was German. I don't know. I did something. I loaned her money. I don't remember what. And she gave me as a gift a sketchbook. It's Hohenheim. And I never used it. And then when I got back to the city, maybe a year later, I started using it, and I loved it. Something about it. And it was very hard to find. I had to actually send her money to send me another one. But now you can get it. I just did this one today. Anyway, so sketchbook is that paper. So that's really what I'm up to. And I am doing some monoprints also, very simple, which I'm doing them here on my dining table by hand, and I'm having fun.
Where are you exactly? What beach are you near?
Long Beach. Long Beach.
Oh, okay.
Long Beach is home. Anyway, I grew up here, so it's like I have a second apartment here, which I've never used for this amount of time. So I'm now like a regular resident of Long Beach. I don't know how I'm going to want to go back to Manhattan.
Wow. Do you know Pearl Rose and Golden?
I do, yeah. Well, I know her from the group, and that she's here.
And she lives there, yeah.
Yeah, well, we've gotten together a couple of times, but her husband has some kind of an allergy, and they can only spend 6 months of the year here.
I know they're here now, though.
I know, but we never are able to connect. I mean,
well, now, of course.
Right now, I'm not connected with anybody, family, so, they're all here.
Of course, yeah.
Doing Zoom, but I'm happy with the beach and just being here. Great. So that's all I'm going to share with you today. It's great seeing everybody's stuff. So I really
Hey, Jackie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie.
Wow.
I'm gonna show some of my work. I've been an artist since I was young. This is something from a while back. It's an oil painting. I see my light is terrible. There we go.
Yeah.
The big shadow across it. Oh, okay. Oh, much better. Yeah.
So oil.
Oh, what medium is that?
Oil on canvas, about 4 or 5 feet tall.
Oh, this is a photo of it. Okay.
Yeah,
wow.
So these are nice photos. Blue in the top. So I paint outside, plein air. I abstract from the landscape, but I abstract in different ways. So that's one approach. This is another.
Is that oil as well?
Yes, about 5 feet across.
Wow.
Wow.
One sitting, maybe 2.
Yeah.
Wow.
How long is it sitting?
3 hours, maybe 2, maybe 4. A canvas that big takes me longer. No question about it. Let's see. I sort of found my I moved my studio and I found a lot of interesting things from the past. So something,
oh, wow.
A geometric play of sorts.
Yeah.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah, I like that.
Love it.
Good work.
That one, that feels very collage inspired.
With that work, I sort of, I lay the paint on, it becomes a little shape. I lay another paint on, it becomes a shape. And I got to beware that the shapes aren't the same size, but I'm not aware. I just sort of do different things and I get a variety. It is landscape inspired. There's sort of a cohesion from the landscape that I abstract. Let's see. Oh, here's a favorite. So sometimes I usually mix paints, and at a certain point in an oil painting that you're working sort of quickly, the brush will pick up and run with paint, and you get great blending and mixing without doing anything. And so, but you got to have a sort of quick hand.
Yeah, that one and an earlier one have a real watercolor feel, like you're really thinning the paint out.
And it's odd, but I don't really thin the paint out. I'll use a little linseed oil.
Yes, right.
And so
That's-
sometimes I will work it like a little watercolory, but in general, yes, it's because otherwise.
I think it's the lighter colors that make it look like a washy watercolor. It's hard to tell what the texture is from the photograph, but yeah, I see what you mean by the watercolory look. This one and that other one I think you're referencing are more realistic than some of the abstract ones that have more
a little yeah,
shapes and dancing color areas. Yeah. Beautiful.
Thank you. And I do use a lot of white. And so when you do that, that gets some of that effect that you're sort of seeing.
Right.
Something very different. When I had a factory, it was in the South Bronx, metalworking. I had pallets that we got stuff on. I worked with car doors and hoods and objects. So a wooden pallet for shipping that I use acrylic, and I sort of you get a free break of the picture plane because the negative space is in between the slots. So you get a lot of visual jumping, which is what I would call it. And these are acrylics. I would work many pieces at once, very different, not landscape inspired, just painting.
It's great.
So-
It's great, Harry.
Yeah, that's
What do you mean you had a factory?
smart.
Had a factory.
So like many people, cats have 9 lives. I'm a human. I've had 18 or 27. For about 25 years, I had a metalworking factory in the South Bronx. It was a family business. We made high-end silver-plated hollowware. Flatware, knives and forks. Hollowware is sugar bowls, trays, chafing dishes, candelabras, coffee pots, champagne stands, things like that. I didn't make metalwork. I did it in the business, but I didn't really bring that into what I do as my arts. Even though I had it at my fingertips, I did bring artists in, and artists did things in my factory, and really had a good time.
Well, you said you painted on those wooden pallets, and then you mentioned car doors and hoods. Did you paint on those too?
Yes. So in the South Bronx, like a lot of people said, you work with still life. You work with what's around you. You work with your feelings, what's happening. You're confined. They're a mess. When I had a factory in the South Bronx, my father had it earlier, but when I was there in the 70s, 80s on, what was there? There was broken glass in the street. There was a car shop across the street that would throw out broken car doors and hoods. And so I would engage that and do installations and various things on the street, actually, sort of still life in life, if that makes any sense. I am not seeing the other ones, but I will show you a very different slice of painting.
Yeah. Right.
And I enjoy, the point is, I guess, I like to express sometimes as a plein air painter, sometimes as an abstract, variation on realism, but very abstract. And then other times I get a light bulb and I'll paint it with acrylic paints, and I'll think, should I light it up and install it, or I'll just paint the light bulb? And it's a great object. I like painting on anything. And I think I do work in ceramics. I love ceramics as well. 3-dimensionality, painting is great, but 3-dimensionality is much more than 1 dimension more. It really is. You know that if you work in that space, you try and walk around an object, try and develop the form 3-dimensionally. But flat work is a lot of fun too. I really enjoy it. I want to thank you all. This has been great. Sort of everybody's interaction and dialogue. Thumbs up to everybody. Keep coming. This is a regular Monday thing. This is Artist Talk on Art. We're a 501(c)(3). We're trying to put out great programming. We have different ways of doing it. This is just one slice. See our website. It's atoanyc.org. You make it happen. And tonight, we had a great group. This was our largest group. And even when we have a small group, everybody brings something to the table. And I think as artists, we all then share something that's a piece of us, because we all have commonalities here. It's obvious. The major themes I heard today were still life, feminism, what's happening to me, series. A lot of people working in series, whether it's a daily or beaches repeated. And that's the way I work as an artist, because something engages you, you do it again. I could paint the same landscape for 10 years. Thank you, everybody. Again, we're a 501(c) nonprofit. If you want to support us, you'll see information on our website. Keep coming. Keep coming. That really supports us, too. And, you know, everyone's exchange of information is what makes it great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Website
you.
address again? What's the website URL?
We are ATOANYC.org. I'm going to type it in here now.
Thank you.
You know, I'm not so good at this that I could just type in a chat too. There's always technical, but it's ATOANYC.org. You'll see what we're doing, and keep coming. Tell your friends. Thank you to all the board members who participate and bring this together.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Barry. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Every Monday, right?
Every Monday. Every Monday.
At 6. At 6. Okay.
Great.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Great. Thanks, Barry.
Bye.